The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host.
Hey, Grand Rising to you, billionaires. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the new Black Wall Street as we present to you guys the Money and Power Show with our title today, Killing Me Softly Part 2. That's right, Killing Me Softly Part 2, man. So nice we had to do it twice. Bring our brother back here to talk to us about some of the things that could be killing us softly and some alternatives to help keep us healthy as we look at not just health, not just wealth, but your whole life. And here's the deal. It's great to identify these things that you and we know. It's not like we don't know. And some stuff we may not know. But there are some things that we know that we might participate in, whether it be from our health, from our wealth, from our mentality, from our friends, for whatever the case may be, that could be toxic in our life and it could be killing us softly. And the question is, well, why do we keep going back doing the stuff that we know ain't good for us? I mean, why? That's the magic question. But anyway, I think if we level up in our knowledge and say, man, well, here are some alternatives. Here's what we can do instead of doing something that's bad, do some stuff that's good. We can live a long, prosperous, healthy life. And then we can pass that thing on down, man. Thanks so much for joining us, man. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, is the study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. Well, you get that book by simply going to the website, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. It comes available in ebook and also soft copy in English, ebook and also audiobook in French for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Again, man, you can find that link in the description above or below. Get your copy today. Today's show is being brought to you by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, which specializes in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art-inspired gifts. Man, you come on to this site, guys, you're going to find we don't switch up some stuff so we can make sure that you and I can be safe and play some defense so you can pick up some personal protective equipment. Got covers for you. Got some new masks that have just rolled out as well. Sanitizer, gloves, all that good stuff. Some smell good, floor water, essential oils, toothpaste. I mean, the list go on and on and on. As a matter of fact, we're gonna be talking about toothpaste here today. So we might need to start making sure we get some of our brother stuff up on the screen too. That's just what we do when we practice group economics. But here's the deal, guys. Come on over to ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, by going to the website www.theblackbazaar.com. www.theblackbazaar.com. We want you guys to remember this, that once you shop Black, you never go back. That's right, man. Once you shop Black, people, once you taste and see that Black is good, yeah, you ain't going nowhere. Just keep on doing business. We keep on keeping the money right in our very own community, because that's what we do. Man, let's see who's here today, man. Go ahead and hit the like button and share button if you care. Like button and share button if you care. Love to see just who has joined us already. Y'all here early. And last week we had a winner, by the way. You just never know when we're going to give out some good gifts. So she has her prize coming on out to us. We're broadcasting across Facebook and also YouTube across the World Wide Web. Love to know just how far our reach is here today. So let us know what city, what country, or what state you are representing here today. What city, what country, or what state, what city, what state, or what country you are representing here today. Ms. Vivian Reed, thanks so much for joining us here today. Queen Vivian's in the house from New York City. Queen Phyllis has joined us here today this morning as well. Good morning to you. Queen Glenda, thanks so much for joining us here today. Good morning to Ron is in the house, man. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Mr. Thomas Freeman from Louisville, Kentucky. That's right. Float like a butterfly. Sting like a bee, man. Muhammad Ali. That's what I'm talking about, man. Home Muhammad Ali. Good morning to you, man. Miss Adrienne Danita, I tagged somebody for us. Thanks so much for joining us, brother Ryan Scott out of DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. And again, the title for today is killing me softly. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share something as it pertains to your wealth or your health that you know is killing you softly, that you know it's time for you to stop. It's time for you to go the other way. It's time for you to put it down. It's time for you to create a new habit. See, you can replace you. It's hard to drop a habit, but you can replace it, right? You want to replace a bad habit with a good habit, and the way that you start that is actually by being honest. You say, you know what? I'm just gonna be honest. I spend more than I earn. That's a bad habit. That's killing me softly, killing my wealth softly. I'm going to have to replace that habit with a good habit, which is spending less than I earn. But you can't get there until you're honest about what you got to deal with, what you got to focus on, what you got to fix, right? In your health and or your wealth, what's something that you know is killing you softly. Good morning to you, Ms. Lovey. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Kings Mountain, North Carolina is in the house. Stonecrest, Georgia is in the house. Thanks so much for joining. Of course, we begin our show by paying homage to our ancestors. We have an African-American inventor that has changed the world. I love to do this because we go from gratitude and appreciation to inspiration. Inspiring because we know if a brother or sister has done this in the past, well, no matter when they did it, if they could do something that changed the world, well, surely in 2020 and beyond, we can do something to change our world as well. We can do something to change our world as well. Today, we're going to pay homage to Charles Brooks. Charles Brooks, who in 1896, that's 120, 30 years ago. 1896, Charles Brooks invented the improved self-propelled street sweeper. Charles Brooks invented the improved self-propelled street sweeper. So in 1896, Brooks invented the improved self-propelled street sweeper. This machine included controlled revolving brushes that were attached to the front and the side, of a vehicle. These revolving brushes could also interchange with a flat scraper for the removal of snow and ice during winter months. Brooks continued to patent improvements on his street sweeper design, including a receptacle for storing the collected garbage and a wheel located inside for controlling the external rotating brushes. City workers praised Brooks for his invention. It made their job much easier to maintain the debris on city streets. Due to his innovation, the modern-day street sweepers, which are used by city sanitation departments, are capable of removing tons of debris each day. So when you guys see those little big old trucks, got the little things under the bottom, they're just rolling by, those are street sweepers. I thought it was, I guess it used to be people, and then they moved and made it to machines. And as we know, that's what happens, right? We continue to go further and further in automation. But at any rate, Charles Brooks was his brother. In 1896, he invented the improved self-propelled street sweeper. And here today, on the Money and Power Show, number one, we say, if y'all didn't know that, y'all just learned that today. You put in the comments on pineapples, because that's what we do when we learn some pineapples. I didn't know about this brother named Charles Brooks that he did that. So pineapples for me. But here today on the Money and Power Show, Mr. Charles Brooks, we put some respect on your name. That's right. We put some respect on your name. So we got to be honest, man. Hey, man, here's something I got to kill me solving, eating unhealthy food. And sometimes you get away from it, then you try it one more time just to see. Like I had a bag of chips. Anybody has some chips and you know you just can't eat one, and then all of a sudden it'd be like when you open the bag, right? It'd be half the bag anyway. The rest of it be air. And then you eat one, you're like, oh, that tastes good. The next thing you know, the whole bag gone. It could be a small bag of chips. It could be a little medium size. It don't matter. So I got something about them chips. I don't know what they put, that seasoning that they putting on it, but make me eat the whole dang on bag. Yeah, that ain't good for me. That ain't good. That ain't good. All right, fear and sugar. Fear, okay, and sugar. Okay. Pineapples, right? Pineapples, absolutely. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's get right into Wall Street. Then we're going to bring our guest in. He's going to talk to us about some of the things he's doing over the PH Company. Last week, he talked to us about deodorant. Today, he's going to talk to us, I believe, about toothpaste. All right. But I wanted to make sure we do it quick because it's Money Monday. We got to do a quick stock market look. Okay. So we're going to do that real quick here today. Let me see if I can bring it up. And let's see what happened on Friday, guys. See if we see anything interesting today. Now, here's the big thing. The big news is that oil futures plunge. Right, so oil is all the way down to about $13 a barrel. For those that know what I stand for, know what I preach, you buy low. Oil is on sale. I mean, it's on clearance. I mean, it's almost in the trash and it's still valuable. Okay. And here's what's going to happen. As soon as the economy opens back up, as soon as the flights start going out and rampant rate, because now people want to travel, they want to get to the place they wanted to go, and then the ships start cruising and doing all that stuff use oil. All that stuff, in order to get them, jet fuel, oil, all that stuff is oil. I'm telling you now, buy oil. That'll be my recommendation. Of course, this is just for educational purposes and entertainment purposes. Don't listen to me, but hey, oil. Now I'm talking about from a long-term perspective. This ain't something that you do if you're trying to get some money tomorrow. It's something you look out in the future and say, man, we ain't got back to flying like we fly yet. We ain't got back to driving like we drive yet. We ain't got back to the ships moving like they move yet. We ain't got back to all the truckers are still moving around, but not to the pace that they will be. Woo, daddy. Okay. Buy low, sell high. Everybody put that comments below. Buy low, sell high. It's just that simple. It's really, if you just do that, you'll be just fine. Okay. Shake Shack returns 10 million. Let's see if anything else. Oil is the biggest thing. Okay, that's the biggest thing. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about that. Oh, okay. The Boeing sends more than 500,000 face masks to New Hampshire. Isn't this interesting? So I guess Boeing is going to be the transport system for 3M, which actually is making these face masks. And I guess, see, that's the government stuff. Government got a contract with Boeing. Government got a contract with 3M, but I can't get no face masks. Okay. You see? So I think I mentioned that to my BBC members yesterday about Boeing, right? Interesting. All right. See anything else? Nothing else. Nothing else. 25. Nothing else. Whatever. Nothing else. Nothing else. All right. So here's what happened on Friday. Then we're going to bring our guest in. All right. So you see the big oil crash below $15 a barrel. Global stocks are mixed. Hey, man. Buy oil. Okay. Just get you some. Add it to your portfolio. I mean, it's super low. I mean, it's super cheap. Super cheap. On sale. Clearance. I like to buy stuff that's on sale. Right? Talking about China, man, could emerge. Chinese company, one of the biggest Chinese companies out there that's going to be very, very popular is a company called Alibaba. That's the Chinese version of Amazon. Y'all know we in a technology age. Might be something to look at. Okay. Anyway, the Dow was up actually on Friday. NASDAQ was up on Friday. S&P was up on Friday. Also notice here, you had some oil companies that was up on Friday. Marathon being one. Exxon was up 10% on Friday. Valero Energy is an oil company. It was up 15% on Friday. Holly Frontier started to see a little decline in some of your healthcare companies, but not much. Right? Oil's down to $13.11 per barrel. I just still don't believe it's going to get down to $10. I mean, it's got to be getting close to the bottom of its bottom. Being that it's still a valuable, very valuable commodity. All right, and obviously oil is in the energy and minerals section, so you're going to actually find a whole bunch of bargain basement stuff down here in energy minerals. Also notice this, guys. We were looking at stocks, how stocks are doing in 2020. Remember, we got down about 25-30% down. Well, look at them now. Down 11%, down 50%. The NASDAQ's down only 4%. So if your portfolios or accounts were heavy in tech, you're not doing terrible, and you're starting to recover a little bit faster than some of these other industries as well. But also, here's the big thing: people are starting to feel pretty damn good when it comes to money. But money's going into the market, man. Remember last week, right? A month ago, we was down at 5, right? Extreme fear. There's a whole bunch of selling going on. Last week we was at 42, right? When we closed the day before on Thursday, we were down at 42 as well. Now we're at the 49. Now we're starting to cross that threshold, get over the greed. Whole bunch of money coming into the market. And I've been telling people, you want to be in the market before the money comes in the market so the money can push your money up. You don't want to do the opposite. Get there when the money get there, then you get there. That you behind. You in the back of the bus. I don't know about you black folk, but I said to myself, I'm tired of riding in the back of the bus when it comes to money. And so it's a decision. You and I have to simply say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance. I mean, it's pretty damn clear, right? What we can do and how we can win if we just think and we actually act. Okay, that's all I want to talk about here today, man. As far as it relates to the economy, the stock market, I definitely want to make sure we give our guests plenty of time to educate us educate us as well. So let me bring him in, man. Brother Hecker's in the house, man. How you doing, there, brother?
Peace, brother. What's going on with you?
Man, I'm doing absolutely phenomenal, man. Thanks so much for accepting the call to come back with us and talk to us a little bit about another product that we may not be as educated about, which is toothpaste. There's some people that weren't here last week, man. So if you could take a little bit of time to let people know who you are, what you do, why you do what you do, and why we should listen to you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So my name is Heckermeyer Kemet, owner, founder, operator, Quintessentials Group, which we have 3 different entities under that particular umbrella. One entity is the PH Company, the other one is Shea of Life, and the other one is Carbon Cake Skin Co. So all in the, what we call personal hygiene industry, but all have 3 separate identities, so to speak. We make pretty much everything you need to maintain your personal hygiene on a daily basis. So everything from mouthwash, toothpaste, deodorant to, all of your typical skincare products. So that's who we are. That's what we do. And yeah, that's it, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much for joining. We'll go ahead and pull up your website as well. Again, and let me try to. I forgot to put it down. Let me put it down here as well. I'm gonna put it in the chat, guys, because you guys asked me last time. I forgot, and then I'll also pop it up on the screen for you guys. So last week, man, you talked to us a little bit about deodorant. Let's do a quick review over what you offer as far as the deodorant concerned. Then we'll take a look at the toothpaste, and then you talked to us a little bit about killing me softly as it relates to what we might be putting in our mouth.
Absolutely. So quick recap on deodorant. The basic thing that you want to know, you don't want to use an antiperspirant. If you really break that down, the etymology of that word, antiperspirant, anti-perspire, anything that stops your body from doing what it's supposed to do naturally, you want to stay away from it, because there's always going to be some repercussion down the road for that. Now, obviously, nobody wants to suffer from the embarrassing wet marks and yellow stains under their armpits. So we've developed an absorbi-perspirant, to where it's still going to allow your body to dispel toxins, which is what happens when you sweat. Your body is getting rid of toxins that it doesn't need. So instead of forcing your body, clogging your lymphatic system, which is what an antiperspirant does, particularly right here in your armpit, which is why breast cancer is at an all-time high, which is why Alzheimer's is at an all-time high. If you want to find a little bit more details about Alzheimer's, breast cancer, and how that links to your deodorant, you can go back to the other video. But instead of forcing your body to hold on to those toxic byproducts, our absorbi-perspirant allows your body to breathe, so to speak, gets rid of those toxins, but it absorbs the wetness. That way, again, you get what you want as far as the aesthetics, no wet spots or stains, and you still allow your body to go through its natural process of getting rid of toxins through sweating.
And then where we go here on, I got the website up. Where do we go here to get a bundle of for the deodorant? Underarm care?
Yeah, so if you look at, underarm care, underarm products, and then you'll see all the individual products, and then we have all the kits there as well.
All right. So we talked about, all right, I got you. All right, okay. And you said, what? It was the platinum kit, or was it something bigger than the platinum kit? That's the best one? I mean, that's the biggest one?
The Pit Kit Pro, which is going to be the one without the picture. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We got to put a picture up for that. But yeah, the Pit Kit Pro, that literally has all of our underarm care products in that particular kit. Which from my experience, I'll put it to you like this. I said this last week. A lot of people, they switch over to natural deodorant, and unfortunately, natural deodorant has a bad rap of not working. And what I tell people all the time is, it's not that natural deodorant doesn't work, it's that your body isn't working properly. So you have to get your body back to balance, or what we call homeostasis. And then when you start using natural products, it'll work even better. So, it's a yin and a yang. Unfortunately, we've been using these commercial brand products that are pumped full of synthetic chemicals that throws the balance off in our body. So we keep putting that in our body and it keeps throwing the balance off. And then we want to go back to something that is balanced, being the natural products, and our bodies isn't balanced. And then we say the products aren't working, when in reality, your body isn't working. So this particular kit contains everything that you need to help bring your body back to homeostasis or back to balance. That way, when you use natural products, it works even better. So now you're working in synergy with the product as opposed to against it.
Absolutely, man. And the biggest thing that stands out of this is eternal defense. What is that, man?
Oh, yeah. So that particular product is, and you know, a lot of people may be familiar with these, the ingredients in it, which is going to have sea moss, bladderwrack, burdock root, chlorella, has spirulina in there. I might be missing one thing, but that's I'm trying to think. Oh, moringa powder. So, you know, all of these particular herbs, you know, which is what most people are going to call them, contain literally all the minerals and vitamins, essential vitamins and proteins that our body needs to be in homeostasis. Or again, that word means balance. So this particular product is what we market it as an internal deodorant, but really what it is a blood cleanser. So it's going to help basically detox your body internally, which, if you know, what goes in must come out. So a lot of our diets are terrible, you know, to be quite honest. So, and, you know, we're putting garbage in our body and expecting gold to come out. And it just doesn't work like that. So a lot of the smell that you get that we're trying to avoid, it's because you're putting stank in your body, and stank has to come out. And then we put even more stank in the form of, you know, synthetic products to clog the stank from coming out. So we just put stank on top of stank on top of stank, and we keep getting stanker. So then, if you notice, a lot of people, you know, after using a particular deodorant for so long with the, you know, the commercial brands, they feel like they have to get another deodorant because it's not working for them anymore. But what's happening is you're constantly forcing your body to hold on to all of this stank that you're putting into it. So now what you're doing, you're seeking a stronger drug, because that's literally what these products are. And if, again, I said this last week, if you don't believe me, if you flip around your deodorant, it says drug facts on the back. It says that for a reason, because by law, they have to put that on there because they know the antiperspirant that's in that, the aluminum that's in the antiperspirant is considered a drug because it inhibits your body from performing how it's supposed to naturally. And anything that does that, they have to label it a drug.
Absolutely, man. Everybody putting console balance. Everybody putting console balance. And so, you know, man, again, so we have, let me come over here. We have the over at the website, guys, which is Quintessential Group /PH Company, I believe. We have some underarm bundles, but then you also have some oral care products. So talk to us a little bit about what we put in our mouth and how it could be killing us softly, and some alternatives that you offer to help us stay alive.
Absolutely, man. So, oh man, where do I start with the toothpaste? So, you know, fluoride. Everybody knows what fluoride is. It's marketed to us as as an ingredient that's good for us, right? And you know, that's unfortunately, which is, you know, when we talk about Black business, which I'm sure you speak about this a lot. You know, the reason why a lot of us don't, have the exposure like we would want, or like, you know, people would want us to have, so to speak, or the accessibility, is because we don't have the billions of dollars to throw at a TV commercial or to put into our marketing budget to market to you lies. Because that's literally, you know, what happens with these big companies. You know, they market to you, and they know the psychology. They have psychologists, you know, they have people that study how the brain works, which is how they market products to you. So they know if they just show you something a certain number of times, whether it's true or not, you're going to believe it, because subconsciously your brain is just going to believe what it is because you see it all the time. That's just how the brain works. So because they know this, they can market anything to you, and they know after a certain amount of time that you're going to buy into it. Because in your mind, you're thinking, well, if it keeps coming up, then it has to be real or it has to be true. So because of that, you know, they use this particular ingredient, fluoride, and they've been marketing it to us for years as a beneficial ingredient in your toothpaste. Now, here's the thing, right? It does have benefits. But here's the other thing. You know, we were just talking about balance. The problem is the fluoride in your toothpaste and other ingredients that's in there as well, sodium lauryl sulfate, it may say SLS on the back of your toothpaste tube. Also another very toxic ingredient, triclosan or triclosan, you know, however you want to pronounce it. You know, these three are the top 3 ingredients that's in your everyday toothpaste that is killing us softly. But we're going to focus on fluoride because that's the most popular one. That's the one that causes the most damage, right? So fluoride, right? So just to give you a little history on fluoride. So I think 60 to 70 years ago, somewhere in that time frame, you know, they started marketing fluoride as a beneficial product that helps strengthen our teeth, right? Now, there is some truth to that. Fluoride does help strengthen our teeth, but in conjunction with other elements and minerals, right? So the problem is, again, the reason why, if you look on the back of your toothpaste, it says drug facts, active ingredient, sodium lauryl, not sodium lauryl sulfate, hexafluorosilicic acid, in short, fluoride. The reason why it says that is because they know that the fluoride that's in your toothpaste has to be considered a drug because it's a neurotoxin. And they know, watch this, I'll put it to you like this, right? All of these drugs that they use for, you know, for ADHD, like Wisperdol, and I'm forgetting the names of the other ones, but all of these drugs that they use for people that have ADHD, the main ingredient is fluoride. The main component of this particular drug is fluoride, and then they have other, you know, they have other elements that are bonded to that fluoride atom. But the main component of that pharmaceutical drug is fluoride because it's a neurotoxin. So that same element, hexafluorosilicic acid, is what's in your toothpaste and is what they are telling you is good for your oral health. But the problem is, it's not balanced. Because if you go in nature, right? As a matter of fact, let's do it like this. If you go to the element chart, and we all know, I'm assuming we all know, the further right you go on the element chart and the higher you go, the more toxic the elements get. And if you look at the element chart, fluoride or fluorine, okay, is literally right below chlorine or Clorox, which is what we use, you know, as a cleaning agent in our homes or wherever, right? But it's literally so toxic that it's all the way to the right and all the way at the top of that chart. That's how toxic of an ingredient or toxic of a you know, ingredient that it is. But they put it in the toothpaste and tell you that it's healthy, right? But they don't tell you the acute side effects of using it over time. Obviously, they're not going to put so much into your toothpaste to where when you use it one time, it's going to, you know, it's going to kill you. But over time, as the title of this feed is, killing me softly. Over time, the acute use of fluoride causes so many issues, which we're going to get into, that, you know, a lot of these things that we're suffering from, it's almost impossible to link it back to brushing your teeth every day. But that's what we're going to do today, right? So before I go into it, let me just make sure everybody, you know, is with me on that. So does that make sense so far, E?
Yeah, man, just catch up on the comments, man. Got balance. Mayron, I know people are getting this information, so it's really good. I've already said he's used your product before, man. Personally, a good experience using your body oil. All right, fantastic.
Absolutely.
As she said, it's also in the water. Fluoride is also in the water.
Yep.
Miss
We're going to talk about that as well.
Miss Vivian is our resident herbalist, so she's got some knowledge on herbs and oil. And I want to go back. You got me at the. I'm still thinking about it. I'm thinking about the fluoride, but I'm thinking about that internal defense. You said it's got all these different herbs that I keep hearing about. I ain't tried, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to that $40 pack just so I can get that internal defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's up, man.
And ironically. Now, I'll say, ironically, that internal defense, although we market it as an internal deodorant, it also helps with your oral health as well. It helps strengthen your teeth. It detoxes you again. So bad breath, a lot of bad breath, we attack it again. We attack the symptoms and we don't attack the root cause, when it comes to bad breath. So a lot of bad breath isn't necessarily in your mouth. It's in your gut because our gut flora is off. And, when you have too much bad bacteria, you're going to get gas. And there's only two ways it can come out, through your mouth and through your ass. So if it ain't coming out through your butt, it has to come out through your mouth. So that internal defense also helps your oral health as well. Absolutely,
man. Yeah, we learning today, man. Everybody putting comments on pineapples. If you learning something today, that's just what we do. Monday we got killing me softly. I hopefully understand, and I always try to attack money and power, understanding that our health is greater than our wealth. Your health isn't your wealth. Your health is actually greater than your wealth. That's something that I think we take a lot of things for granted. We neglect a lot of things, but let's not neglect our very own body, our very own what our house that we've been granted to be able to, take us through a long period of time while we're here on the earth, man. Okay, so let's not do that. Hey, got a question, man. Isn't the fluoride they use in the water and toothpaste and water chemically manufactured for, not actually from the element fluorine, which comes from the earth?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're about to get into. So let's get into it, man. So give you a little history on fluoride, right? So the fluoride that we know today, as the brother said, that is not the natural element that naturally occurs in the earth, because it is natural, right? It is a natural element. So the fluoride that they use is actually a byproduct of the basically the fertilizer industry, the phosphoric fertilizer industry, right? So what happens is all elements like to bond with other elements. That's how they balance each other out, right? So when you go in nature, you're never going to find fluorine or fluoride by itself just in nature, because it's unstable. Like, it's so unstable that if you take pure fluoride and you put it on any surface, damn near any surface that you put it on, it will burn straight through it if you take pure fluoride. Now, when you combine it with other elements like phosphorus, like aluminum, okay, because again, aluminum is a natural element. Although it is bad for us, just because it's natural doesn't necessarily mean it should be in our body. Snake poison is natural, but we don't want to just take snake poison and drink it, right? So just because it's natural doesn't necessarily mean it should be in our body. So fluoride in itself, it wants to bind with other elements to help balance it out. Iron, okay, we're going to talk about how the relationship between fluorine or fluoride and iron in our body is causing havoc. Again, that we're not putting the connection together, right? So when the fertilizer industry wants to get the phosphor rock, which is what they use, okay, to the synthetic process that they use, that they call natural, because again, these elements are natural, but when they synthesize it, it becomes unnatural because it becomes denatured and it becomes unbalanced. So that is not natural. But anyway, in order for them to get that phosphoric rock, they have to separate the fluorine element from the phosphoric rock. So then that particular element, the fluorine element, becomes waste. So anytime they have waste product, they are supposed to properly dispose of that, right? Because again, this fluorine element is so unstable that is not like, it's not like dishwater where you can just wash it down your sink, right? This fluorine element is a gas. So that gas is so unstable, which if you study history, Hitler, okay, and this is not, again, we said this last week, this is not conspiracy theory. This is actual factuals. Hitler used that same gas and put it in the water supply when they had the Jews, when they had the Jews in the concentration camp, because again, it's a neurotoxin. So what it does, it basically makes you docile. It makes you very, like that effect you get after you drink. I mean, after you smoke some good kush, right? It makes you very just lazy. It takes the fight out of you, right? This is what it does. This is why, again, this is how you can connect this. This is why people that they say have ADHD, this is why they use this same element to bring them down. Because basically all they're saying is people with ADHD have a lot of energy. So we need to bring you down. And they use the fluorine element to do that. It's a neurotoxin, right? So instead of, which is what these large corporations do, instead of paying other companies, okay, to properly dispose of this toxic byproduct, what did they do? They hired a scientist, okay, the same scientist that Hitler used, okay, to study this gas so he could use it on the Jews in the concentration camps. These companies hired the same scientists to study and see how, instead of having to pay to get rid of this toxic gas, okay, how can we make money off of it? So the first thing they said, okay, well, we can use it as rat poison. So that's what they did. They started putting it in rat poison, and it works. But here's the problem. They were producing far more than they were selling in rat poison. So they still had to figure out a way to get rid of this stuff without having to cut into their bottom line. All right, which means pay for properly disposing of this toxic chemical waste. So the next step was, all right, well, let's put it in the toothpaste, because we know that fluoride has strengthening effects for your enamel. But what they're not telling you is when it's coupled with other elements like calcium, like manganese, like iron, okay, all of these other elements, once you combine them together, yes, it does have positive effects for the strengthening of your bones. Okay, which, as you know, your teeth is a part of your skeletal system, right? So they said, okay, well, we know that, so let's throw it in the toothpaste. But here's the caveat. We know most people are mineral deficient. So because of that, and the reason why most people are mineral deficient is because the foods that we eat, especially here in the Western Hemisphere, is very, very, it's basically, it has very low nutritional value. A lot of packaged food, a lot of foods that are high in sodium, salt, and all these other things that are killing us, right? Especially the Black community. So this is the other part that they're not telling you. They're telling you that fluoride is healthy for you, but what they're not telling you is, unless fluoride is naturally bonded with in nature, then it actually has a toxic effect on your body. So the more fluoride you take and the less minerals you take in to help balance that fluoride out, it actually depletes your body, or it depletes your skeletal system of the essential minerals that it needs to function properly. Because again, anytime these elements come in contact with other elements that it naturally wants to bond with, it's gonna pull that from your body. It has to pull it from somewhere because it naturally wants to bond with these other elements so it can balance itself out. So the more fluoride you put into your body, and the more I'm gonna say artificial food that you eat, because we all know it's not real food, right? It's edible, but it's not real food. And the least mineral rich that those foods are, every time you put this fluoride into your body, it's gonna deplete your body of whatever minerals that it can. This is why osteoporosis is at an all-time high. Okay, it literally goes back to the fluoride. Even calcium. What they don't tell you about calcium is, because again, as good as calcium for you, as good as calcium is for you, it's that much worse for you if you're not taking it with manganese, iron, and so many other minerals that your essential minerals that your body needs. It actually is going to cause a lot of the issues that they're telling you that it fits. So they say milk does a body good. Okay, yes, it has calcium, but the problem is, if you take in too much calcium and it's not equal parts with these other elements that your body needs, then it's going to actually cause the issues that they're telling you that it fixes. But they're only telling you this because they want to sell you milk, because they have millions and billions of dollars to market a product to you because they want to make money off of it, right? This is how this thing works. This is like, again, a lot of the time I find myself in a catch-22, because you tell people this information, and because they've been, like I said, they've been trained to think another way, it's hard for them to, unlearn to relearn, so to speak. So let me get back on topic. So, okay, real quick, because I tend to keep going. I don't want to get in preach mode. I want to make sure people are understanding what I'm talking about, man. So, man, let's see if we got any questions real quick.
All right, no problem, man. Saying pineapples, they learning something. That's all. It's all good. We learned something today. Pineapple, we learned something today. Absolutely. Ferrous sulfate is fake, right? Oh my God, they don't care. Who's they? I mean, I don't think it's, and I don't know who you're talking about. They don't care. The people who are selling the products don't care, but I think people just are unaware to care. So if you've been living on toothpaste your whole life and never thought to connect any dots to whatever might be going on with you, I don't know if it's not just unaware. I don't think it's about not caring, it's just being unaware. Then the hardest thing to change about anybody is their mind. So if it's been 20, 30 years of me thinking that this is good for me, I'm okay with that. And that's just where people are going to be. So, but as far as those who are, creating the products that know, but that do all the testing, that got all information about all the different chemicals and all the different elements, and that's what they do, and that's what they study. They know, they know, and yes, they know. And even if they do care, right? Because you do have some scientists that might work for some of these big companies or pharmaceuticals. You have a few in there that care, but their voice is going to be very small. It's going to be very light. It's going to be very low, because then they have to think about their livelihood. They have to think about the $100,000 they make in a year. Say, man, is it worth me giving up this money to actually blow a whistle on this big, huge company that's a multi-billion-dollar company? So at the end of the day, as I tell y'all, it all comes back down to the money. The love of money is the root of all evil, and this is why I keep getting back to the stock market, because that's where the wealth resides, right? But anyway, so if you guys got any questions, make sure you put it in the comments, man. We got about a good 10 minutes left, man. Definitely want to take a look at some of your products that you have in the oral care department. But where do you want to go next?
So I'll just cap it off with this, right? So, I always like to bring it home with something that people can relate to, so they understand, the relationship that they have with their products is actually causing a lot of issues that we're facing. So fluoride, okay, your pituitary gland, okay, or your thyroid gland, all right? Your thyroid needs fluoride to function, right? It needs fluoride. Basically what it needs iron fluorine. Okay, this is what your thyroid needs to function. But again, if we go back to what I said earlier, we're getting the fluoride synthetically through the toothpaste and through your water supply as well, which the brother mentioned earlier, okay? So we're getting all that fluoride, but we're lacking the iron. But here's what they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you, get your iron from red meat. Okay, fine. Red meat has iron in it. But there's other things that have a much higher concentration of iron with far less implications to your health. Because we know with red meat comes cholesterol, comes heart problems, comes, you know, all these other issues that the Black community is facing. So, you know, it's like they're telling you one thing, they're telling you, you know, this one thing is going to help you, but they're not telling you the other side effects that are going to kill you, you know, over time, right? So there's other things like, again, alternative defense, moringa. Moringa is the most complete, we're going to call it vegetable. A lot of people call it a herb, you know, that you can actually, that are high, it has the highest concentration of all of the essential essential minerals that our body needs to function on a daily basis, right? So when you take in a plant like moringa, or even something like sea moss, or, you know, any of these particular herbs that you take in are very high in those essential minerals. So you're going to get all the minerals that you need for your body to function properly. So again, when you take in too much fluoride, it causes your thyroid to become either overactive or underactive, which means your thyroid is responsible for basically balancing out your production of hormones, okay? And when that becomes unstable, we know there's many problems that comes with the imbalance of hormones, all right? One of the main things that people that suffer from thyroid issue is weight control, okay? The retention of water. It's not necessarily that you're putting on a lot of fat or losing a lot of fat. It's just that, you know, either depending on what's going on in your body, depending on what you eat, you're either going to retain a lot of water or you're going to get rid of a lot of water. So this actually goes into the relationship with your deodorant, which is why people over sweat, okay? So man, it gets so deep scientifically and you know, on a biological level that, you know, I said it last week, the body is the best machine ever built. The problem is most people have no clue how it works. We're believing these large companies to think that they have our best interests at heart, and really they don't. They just want your money.
Man, everybody putting comments on my body as a machine. Man, when I'm hearing you talk, Brother Hecker, I'm just saying to myself, man, you know, and this is, you know, paying homage to our ancestors, but I hear Dr. Sabi in you, man. You did a lot of researching,
Man.
You know, his tutelage, or you in his. You got some school that I don't know about that you went to. I'm just hearing.
Nah, brother. Like, you know, like I said, man. You know, because I'm passionate about it. It's easy for me to retain this information when it comes to, you know, health, man, because I'm passionate about it. You know what I mean? So you know, to be honest, like I said last week, I have no credentials in none of this. You know what I mean? I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice that I have never used, and have no plans on using it. But you know, when I started studying this information, man, it was just easy to connect the dots for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just something that I picked up on. You know, I studied the greats like Dr. Sabi, Dr. Laila Africa. And even some of the books that some of these doctors that we go to, you know, I read those too. You know, we have access to those books. You can buy those books just like they buy them and study them. The only difference between me and them, they went to a school and got a grade, and I just read and retained the information just like they do.
Absolutely, man. We'll take a look here at the website. Here got a lot of pineapples going on, man. We learning today, man. Good morning. See, we got another nutritionist here. Kinata is in the house, man. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much, Kinata, as well, who's going to lead the BBC is going to be leading our fitness division. So I'm super excited about that. Body Fortress coming to town for the BBC. Pineapple, man, my body is a machine. 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 Greatest machine ever built by God himself. All right. So talk to us, Brother Heck, about some of the products here. And I'm going to do another quick copy and paste here because this is the oral bundles. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's take now let me, I guess before I ask this, is there an oral and underarm type of bundle as well? I want to look at both of those this week.
Yeah, we don't have one together, but okay. Of course, you know, you have your oral bundles and then you have your pit bundles, your underarm bundles, where you can purchase them separately, but we don't have like one big kit that has all of those together. Not yet. You know, that's something we could definitely put together. But
Well,
as far as
here's what I'm thinking, brother. And you know, and I don't like to. I don't like to. I'm the guy. I'm the type of guy when people give me ideas, it's normally for me to do more work. But
yeah,
so I like to talk to you about what would make sense, and maybe even bring in some help in to be able to make like some Corona care packages with your products, maybe from Mother's Day or something like that. You know what I mean? Like so we can get kind of hit it all with some simple stuff. I think that might be dope. But talk to us about some of your oral care bundles.
Yeah. So, man, just to break it down real quick, man, we literally have made a product for every step in your
one second, man. It looks like your sound got a little far away or something. Did you get a call or something come in?
No. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's so far away. I don't know what happened.
No, I didn't do anything.
Can you exit and come back?
Okay, hold on 1 second.
All right, guys. So we got pulling it up here. He'll be back in just a second to talk to us about pineapples. So he said pineapple. Might have to throw some bananas and cherries up in there. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. He's got him. He's almost back real quick. All right, there we go. All right, what's going on, brother?
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good. There we go. All right, there we go.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah. So what we've done, we've created a product for what we believe are an essential step for every essential step in your oral care routine, right? Most people, the vast majority of people, they brush. We know that for sure. But we've created products to where it complements the brushing process, because again, we have to go back to the foods we eat. And I have to be real, man. I'm not pushing veganism on anyone. I will push that we need to eat far more veggies and fruits than we do. But the reality is, again, based off the foods we eat, it actually accelerates the deterioration of our oral health, our teeth. So a lot of the cavities and things like that we suffer from, root canals, all of that stuff, it literally 99.9% of the time stems back to the type of foods we eat. They're heavy in starches, heavy in sugars, very acidic, with the sodas and alcohol and stuff like that we drink, that we consume on a daily basis. So all of that stuff deteriorates our oral health, specifically our teeth. So what we've done, we've created products that will combat that. So like, for an example, we have our Chloro Flush Pre-Brush Oral Rinse, right? And it's exactly what it is. It's a pre-brush oral rinse. And basically what that does is, before you brush, there's bacteria and things like that are in your mouth that brushing just doesn't kill. Brushing is the equivalent of buffing out a scratch on your car, right? So you're going to buff the scratch out, but then you have to come back and, put some type of coating on it so it can match the rest of the paint on your car, right? So our Chloro Flush Pre-Brush Oral Rinse is going to basically get in there. You swish it around just like you do a typical mouthwash, and that's going to kill all of the bacteria that's in your mouth, all the bad bacteria, because there is good bacteria. That's going to, get rid of a lot of the bad bacteria that's in your mouth that causes the deterioration even after you brush. And then you come and brush. Like I said, the equivalent of you brushing is like scrubbing a stain out of your shirt. You're going to scrub the stain, but you still got to wash it to lift the stain off of the surface, right? So after you brush, of course, we have our Restore Activated Charcoal toothpaste for, we call it teeth whitening, but I like to call it stain removal, because teeth whitening and stain removal are two different things. But, for stain removal, and then we have our Synergy Peppermint Neem toothpaste, which is more geared towards gum health. Okay, so if you're suffering from, gingivitis, receding gum lines, bleeding gums, inflamed gums, anything like that, that pertains to gum health, our Synergy toothpaste is geared towards healing your gums. All right, so you can brush with either one of those. You can brush with both. And then we have our balanced post-brush oral rinse, which would be your typical mouthwash. Because again, even after you brush, there's so many crevices that food particles can hide in that brushing just will not get to, that your post-brush oral rinse is like the power wash. It's going to come in there and rinse all of the leftover debris that you didn't get with the brushing, that you're not going to get with the post-brush oral rinse. Then it's going to come back and get all of that. So between those 4 products, man, you're going to get everything that you need. And then we have other ancillary products like our Black Gold Extreme Whitening Powder. We have our Sustain Enamel Polish. So, you know, we have, and again, the internal defense, which is going to be more of your, you know, the minerals that your body needs to build strong teeth. So that way it combats hot, cold sensitivities, cracked teeth, you know, all of these things that we suffer from because of, again, the foods that we eat exponentially deteriorates the health of our teeth.
Absolutely, man. So I'm looking here. I always going to come look at this. I guess going to look at the platinum since we looked at platinum on the other side. So here we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we get the pre-brush. We get the synergy. You choose flavor. What's the different flavors that you have?
Oh man, so we have shucks, man, berry blast. We have peppermint. We have synergy. I mean, we have peppermint, we have spearmint, we have lemon lime, vanilla mint. I think I hit all the flavors on the synergy. Yeah. And then we have children's toothpaste as well.
Okay.
Which is going to have a nice fruity, more like an orange kind of flavor.
Okay. What's this?
Yeah, and we use essential oils. We don't use any synthetic flavorings or anything like that. You know, in all of our oil products, we use straight up essential oils.
So, okay, what is this over here? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's our Carbon Cake Skin Coat. That's our other, you know, company up under the Quintessentials brand. So that's going to be more of your skin care, your face care, body care. That's what that's going to be.
So we got to bring you back again, man. We got to get to this other side.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right. So are you gonna be able to come back next week so we get to this side? I didn't even because I've been looking for some whipped shea butter, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, my sister is the one that you know runs the Carbon Cake Skin Co. Portion of it. You know, so I can bring her on and we can both, you know, build.
Oh hell yeah, man. All right, so here's the deal, guys. Man, all this wonderful stuff, man. So we last week we covered underarm care. And this week we're covering your oral care, all from the pH company and it's personal health, but you know, pH is bring you back to balance, right? So he's built the company through his study. Everybody putting down some study. He's built the company through his study to be able to help you and I to have balance in our body, balance in our health, to be able to help us to do that. And that's a wonderful thing. So again, guys, you want to check out the website, quintessentialgroup.com/the pH company. I've also put that into the links that you guys can, click on and go do some business with a brother who's not only just doing business because he's not concerned really about the bottom line, because the bottom line, I believe, for you, brother, is to educate your people. That's what I believe. That's what I'm hearing. Because you spent the whole 30 minutes just educating, not selling. It's a big. This is the thing that I want people to understand as it relates to business. Now I can talk business. What you have done, what you have literally done, brother, is you have become. And I've watched it through your videos. I've watched it through your IGTV stuff that you do. I watched you literally become another level of entrepreneur, which many people have not gotten to. We call it an infopreneur. An infopreneur, which is I educate the people by make decisions based off of their knowledge, not based off some sales tactic. So you literally, you've advanced from businessman or from entrepreneur, from entrepreneur to entrepreneur, now to infopreneur. You can actually enter a room and educate the masses, and now they can make better decisions based off of their new knowledge. That's close to you as far as that's concerned. But hey, this is our time. It's also Black Man Monday. So we get an opportunity to speak to the people, last words that you have for us here on the Money and Power Show. And particularly, again, to the black men. Everybody put in the comments below why you love and appreciate and adore the black man. Definitely you sisters, you know what I'm saying, show your support for the black men out there. Brothers as well. We gotta do a better job of uplifting one another. Here on Black Man Monday, you get an opportunity to do that. Share in the comments below why you love, adore, and appreciate the black man. Brother Hecker, your last words for us here today on the Money and Power Show.
Man, are we speaking to the brothers again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, last week I said that there's a point in a man's life where you have to, where the light switch has to come on, right? With that, once that light switch comes on, then there becomes a point where you have to be so, there's a certain level of focus that a man needs, that, to some people is going to look like you have no emotions. And it's not that you don't have no emotions, it's just that emotions don't drive your decisions. And this is why, and again, I don't want to get into the conversation of like it sounding sexist or anything like that. But the reality is we were talking about hormones, right? And we all know that typically when men make decisions, it's based off a logistical thinking process. It typically isn't ran by the emotions behind it. And typically women respond based off how they feel about certain things. It's not a bad or a good thing. It's just a thing, right? So, it's so funny. We were talking about the products, but because of the products that we use, it is thrown off that balance. So now, we've come into an area where, more men are starting making decisions based off how they feel. And that's not why women, I'm going to say follow us for lack of a better term. It's not really like you're following us like they can't lead themselves. But it's a reason why women look to us to be honest with you, make the hard decisions, because typically we make the decisions based off a logistical thinking process. Not to say that women can't do it. It's just that biologically, that's just how it works, right? So we go to women to feel, we go to them to, so they can tell us their, what they call that women's intuition, right? And then they come to us for the logistical steps it takes to make what they're feeling come into fruition, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying is, fellas, we have to get back to the balance. Everything is about balance, right? We have to stop being so, through many reasons, the products that we use, social media, all these things evoke emotions that, a lot of us, it's hard for us to control. So fellas, if you want the sisters to come back home, if you want the sisters to respect us, there's a certain level of focus and conviction that you have to have about what you're doing in order for us to get what we like to call that ride or die, right? Let me tell you something, man. My wife, literally, I was homeless when I met my wife, like homeless, straight up homeless, like legit sleeping on buses. And I was homeless, but I wasn't, what's the word? Like, my mindset wasn't homeless. It was just my situation at the time I was homeless. But because the level of conviction and the level of focus that I showed her, she rolled with me. And I'm telling you, I was legit homeless. But because of that, because she felt that from me, she rolled with me. This is why I don't care what goes on in this world. She is, this pretty woman that you're looking at behind me right here, she is going to be okay for the rest of her life, because I promised her that I was going to take care of her, because she believed in my focus. Now, sometimes that focus gets on her nerves and that's going to happen. And, I'm learning how to balance that. But the reality is, this is what women look for in a man, a certain level of focus, because that certain level of focus brings security for them. So, I'll leave it at that, man. I can go on all day about that, but, hopefully that makes sense.
Man, I'm gonna have to bring you on the he say she say so. Now you start talking like that, boy.
Let's do it, brother. I'm with it, man.
Yeah, man. So again, guys, check out the PH Company, man. Our brother Hecker, man. He does it twice. We're gonna see if we can bring him back one more time, or more times. I don't know, because we got another division of his company that got to talk to us about with the whole skincare side. And then I don't know. I just threw that idea out there. I don't want you to have to do no more work, but I think it might be a pretty cool thing. I got a sister I want to connect with us and see if we can start piecing some of this stuff together and bring some of this stuff, bring some of these packages together. Maybe buy some of your stuff in bulk, and it will take care of making the packages or something like that. But anyway, man, Thomas Blow, guys, I want you to share something that you learned today. Right? You got an infopreneur who's educated us, and we want to pay our tribute to him by saying, hey, here's what I learned. Here's one thing that I took away. It wasn't a waste of my time. It was worth my time. Put that in the comments below. Right? Put that in the comments below. I mean, Vivian said, man, we love and appreciate the black man. The Lovey Hobbs, love and appreciation and adore the black man. Absolutely. Hey, say, Laura Roberts said, man, I love black men's genius. Absolutely, man. Thanks so much. Absolutely. See, we only got 3 people that want to say something good about the black man. You see that? It is what
right. They saying it in their heart.
Yeah, they saying it in their heart. Man.
Yeah.
Hey, so you can check out the PH Company at Quintessential Group, right? Quintessential Group / PH Company. That's one place where you can actually do business with the black-owned business, right? We got the ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afro-Centric Marketplace. That's another place, right? We represented today at theblackbazaar.com that you can do business with black business. And y'all have, right, the Black Billionaires Club, which is has sponsored this show, which is another place that you can actually do business with as well, right? And that's a club that you can actually join and participate with us as we build, get rich, build wealth. And that's just what we do. Let me see if I got any more comments, then we'll wrap this show up. None yet. I know I talk much faster than you type again, Brother Hecker. Thanks so much for taking the time to be with us here today on the Money and Power Show. Everybody else, I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.